So I have many hats. Or maybe I should say I have many shoes that I wear. So I do TA at some courses, especially with the International Medical Group.
IMG.
So the IMG cohort. So I'm TAing them right now. I do some supervision in the teaching clinic as well as on the IV shift, so that's still ongoing. I have my own private practice, so I'm business owner, I am practitioner, I am everything covered with the business, and I have a business partner as well, though, so I'm not everything, I'm half of everything. We do public education and support groups, that sort of thing. Like there's a few other like minor hats to wear, but primarily naturopathic doctor, TA, supervisor. Those are and
then there's other things that fit within those those categories.
Yeah, I would say I'm like little researcher. I'm finishing up my research project. And so once that's done, I'll be presenting it at the CA&D conference, and so I'll be doing that. It's an audit on breast cancer care at the clinic, so it'll be really great. I think.
In naturopathic medicine, I'm an instructor, I'm a practitioner, I'm a parent, I'm a patient. I think in so many different ways, it just kind of influences one's life. So,
You're just all immersed.
All of it, I guess, right? And I think that's most people. You can't. That's the thing about naturopathic medicine. It's hard to separate naturopathic medicine from your life, because it's how you live your life. It's how you eat. It's how you breathe, even, right? It's how you sort of how you approach overall healthcare. So because of that, it's sort of all-encompassing. But I mean, that's separate from practice, right? So your practice can be a very separate thing. It can be a very more discrete part of your life, which I think is a good thing. It's a healthy thing for that to be the case. But the sort of philosophy of naturopathic medicine will permeate through many different parts of your life.
I'm completing my second year of residency here. So in terms of my responsibility at the school, it's definitely tapered down. So on Tuesdays, I'm a TA for acupuncture, and then on Wednesdays, I do the IV shift. So those would be my responsibilities at the school. I also have a private practice in Pickering. So I work there on Thursdays and Saturdays. And I've really tried to also position myself as an educator in the community. So we're involved in a lot of different talks and a lot of different trade shows and events just to really help educate the public about the naturopathic profession. And I'm also completing research in inflammatory bowel disease. So that would probably be the hats that I'm wearing right now.
I mean, I am practicing, so I am a currently practicing naturopathic doctor. I am practicing abroad at the moment, hoping to eventually come back to Toronto, but that's been really interesting because not only am I a practitioner in another part of the world, but being in another part of the world where naturopathic medicine isn't as perhaps popular or established or known, you end up obviously being an advocate as well for naturopathic medicine. So I'm, often talking to prospective patients about what we do and what the benefits are of naturopathic medicine. I think I'm also, in the community, I'm still involved as well. So I had been involved in a cardiovascular disease screening initiative. So we were just looking at different community members and assessing their risk. And then I was part of the intervention team looking at physical activity and just evaluating the level of physical activity that each person was doing and how we could really increase that. So that's been really nice because you're sort of looking at naturopathic medicine but applying the principles more broadly in a community setting. And I think that also falls under the category of perhaps advocate. But those are some of the ways that I'm still involved with naturopathic medicine. Have been a TA and a supervisor at the Residency and at CCNM for a long time, but given that I'm out of town, I haven't been doing that as much, but still something I'm really passionate about. So hopefully when I come back, I can still be involved in that way as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so after I finished my residency, I TA'd a couple courses for a while. So I've TA'd primary care for many, many years, which I stopped doing a few years ago just to have a little bit more balance in my life. And I've TA'd MNIP. What else? PCD. Anyways, yeah. So so I have done that in the past. I also have been a supervisor in the clinic for a year. I did that full time as well, covering someone's maternity leave. So that was sort of like past, and now as my practice has grown, I just focused my my energy here at Meridian Spine and Sport, and as I said, my husband is a chiropractor, so we've had this place now. We're celebrating our 10th year this year.
Yes.
Yeah. So awesome. And then I also give seminars. I would say like the big thing I do in the community is to give seminars. I'm also I'm also the nutrition coach at CrossFit Arc. So I give nutrition presentations there regularly.
I think a lot of residents at this stage, so they're already 1 year in, have started their practice and they're NDs with a clinic on the side, and they're also residents, and whether they're starting up a clinic and they're more on the business side of things, or they're working as associates. But that's something I'm still working on, because I feel like I didn't want to jump into something right away. There was clinics I was going to apply to, but then I waited, and I've actually made connections with people here, and I think that I'm going to take my time and see what comes of all of that first. And so mainly as a naturopath, I'm a resident. Like, that's pretty much my daily job. So I am a TA, I teach some seminars, and I am a supervisor here. And outside of it, it's pretty much like I'm the ND to anyone my family meets, and it follows you everywhere you go. Yeah. I was in the sauna yesterday with my mom at the gym, and this woman came in and found out what I do and started asking me a whole bunch of questions, and I just feel like you never fully leave your job, because as much as you can't give health information to someone who's not a patient, it's really hard to not share just like general tips. And the minute someone finds out what you do, and I'm sure you've gotten this as well, they line up with questions. And like, I've had my family sit there with pen and paper and line up at Christmas time just to talk to me. And it's just
That's so funny.
But yeah, and so far pretty much that.
Yeah. I've got my research project here, which is actually connecting me with a lot of researchers across North America for cancer research specifically. It's also connecting me with ONCAMP, which is the Oncological Association of Naturopathic Physicians.
Okay.
They offer board certification for naturopathic oncology. And it's something I am interested in pursuing further, so I can better more training, of course, and better help for cancer patients. So being knee deep in the research world is kind of a big deal to me. Providing new answers to cancer questions and to the profession, helping the profession with some of those answers is important to me. My clinic shift here, yes, it's just one shift, but I'm helping those students with their practice management, with their skills, with their patients. I'm getting to treat and see patients and help them with their health. So that's the core of our profession, is helping people.
Definitely, yeah.
I've also started private practice. So outside of CCNM, I've started a private practice, and it focuses on cancer and pain management. But I'm working on the focus for MSK and cancer care. And I'm also planning, along with that, partially from my training here, partially from connections there, a smoking cessation program. So it's more about getting into the community and helping people prevent cancer before it even starts, which is back to the foundations of naturopathic medicine. And working with a psychologist, I don't have a medical doctor on board yet, but working with the community, the medical community and support community to help reach people who are ready to quit smoking or people who are just not sure if they're ready, but they're thinking about it. So to sort of provide access to those patients and to that community.
I would say both formally and informally. Formally, I am still involved with the college. Like I said, the residency kind of opened up a lot of avenues, which is really a great privilege, I feel. So I TA, I'm doing a lot of academic work at the college. Going to start up more in September. I'm also doing clinical work, and I often frequent the IV shift to do coverage.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing. It's part-time at the college. As a practitioner, I'm here at Trinity Health Clinic. I love it. I'm here Tuesdays and Saturdays, and so this is my oasis time. I feel I always love it when I get to work one-on-one with patients and kind of just see them through their health. I do work with our regulating bodies, kind of do that kind of stuff, and just kind of keep my ear to the ground for other opportunities. In the more informal sense, I feel I do a lot of one-on-one with students. In whatever capacity, I feel students feel very comfortable approaching me in whatever regard, and they ask advice about business, or they ask advice about school or life or whatever, and so I feel I'm open and welcoming to that kind of contribution as well.
So, as I mentioned, I think the principles and the values infuse my life completely, so I never walk away from it. But so in terms of my paid work and my volunteer work, I would say about a third of it is clinical work, and that includes my clinical supervision and teaching here at the college. So my private practice plus my clinical supervision probably makes up about a third of my time. So managing the healthcare of individuals. Probably a good third, probably more than that. I would say half of my time is focused on academics. So teaching, developing teachable material, exploring strategies of delivery, delivering, the administration around that. So, setting exams and marking exams and communicating with students and all of that. I, in my head, perceive that as being the bulk of my work, but I think probably makes up about half of my time. And then what are we up to? So it's about 80%. So the rest of that, scholarship, so I mentioned, is something that, I try to engage in as much as possible, and disseminating knowledge beyond sort of the immediate academic environment, so conferences and writing and communicating on that level, and administrative tasks and so on. So very much, I would say, different from most naturopaths who graduate from this program, and that most people, I think, go out and set up practice and engage mostly in clinical work. Mine is a little bit more diverse than that.
I'm actually starting to define that for myself, so you're catching me at a time where I haven't really defined it. So the easy ones are that I'm in practice, so I'm a practitioner. I continue to have my clinical practice that I started at the beginning of my residency and have continued since then. I do see myself as an advocate, an ambassador for naturopathic medicine in my personal life as well. And I see myself as a business person and relay that to naturopathic medicine. There's been a bit of a recent change in my career and my roles just as it relates to CCNM. So previous to probably 2 months ago, I was supervising at the college on contract, and I was also TAing